Alright, 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 alright. Alright. Yeah, good shit. Yeah, I can do that too. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I always like doing this. Like cooking over fire and stuff. Always feels good. Like being outside. It's like the one like spot you can actually get phone reception or internet reception. It's pretty ironic, really, but yeah, that's fine. So yeah, what we'll do next is we'll do a little pretend land shit. And you're gonna mix up some pretend soil and go through a little week by week, and then you'll see like how simple it is. Now, if you've never had any any of my weed before, that like I was actually, oh no, moth, stay out, ouch, poor thing. Um, if you've ever had any of my weed before that I was actually like pretty proud of or what have you, like pretty damn good. There's testament to that is low key. I won't embarrass them. And there's a lot of breeders out there who always hit me up trying to buy weed off me, but I give it away to sick people, so it's not for sale. So whatever. Um, but the thing is everybody thinks it's like, oh man, must have been like so complicated and like some wizard tricks or some shit like that. And no, there's no crazy tricks with it. A lot of the shit we'll talk about, you can get it in the fucking grocery store. You know, uh, mixing up your pretty simple soil, that'd be the hardest part, I reckon. But, it ain't much to it. So, you don't have to worry about filling your notepad up too much. The crazy part about all of it is the science behind it, but there's enough white papers and data that's out there right now that you know if one's so inclined they can learn all about it. So that part I will skip, and I'll just kind of cut to the nitty gritty of it, but I will kind of throw in my little bit of bullshit thought process behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. I almost got enough coals up. Now normally, oh man, I'd lay flame to this shit um but I didn't want to make too big of a fire all at once. Normally like I'd do it like super quick, like I'd make like this massive pit fire and I get up my coals like really fucking quick and I just kind of do what I need to do. But I figure since we're just kind of bullshitting around and talking, that uh yeah, we would just kind of hang out together and do all this. And we're getting up there in numbers, so that's good. Always a plus. A 336. I'll give it another few things. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, I think I might actually be able to cook me a little something now. Yeah, I got my little pan So like in case like sometimes you can cook you some stuff right over the wood. Um, if you're like around this area, there's pinyon pines everywhere. So like whatever you do, you don't want to you don't want to cook over that. It will make shit taste really nasty. So you'll probably want like a little bullshit pan. You know what I mean? Carry that with you. If you back east or maybe down in Texas or something, you got mesquite, hickory, and maple, and all that oak and stuff. You can cook it up, right over that. But I wouldn't recommend it with the pine and these pinions. And the cool thing is, like these mosquitoes fucking hate, the pinion pines and stuff. Um, yeah, I was reading that. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, I think that's probably about right. So I'll keep on talking about the soil. All right. So we got our bale of Premix, and figure like depending on how much aeration, a little drainage level that we're gonna rock out. Okay, that will depend on exactly how many pots. So I'm gonna take, just assuming, some of you might be 5 gallon, 10 gallons, 7 gallons, 20 gallons, 50 gallons, 100 million fucking gallons, whatever. Um, you can do your own math, but give or take, this will get you about 12 10-gallon pots filled up. Now, I might like drop a certain recommendation for a certain product. Some people, oh fuck that or this or that. You know what? Go have your own fucking goddamn live, okay? And you can talk all about whatever the fuck you want, okay? So don't get all hung up on that shit. You can read on the internet, research what you like, what you don't like. This is just me, so don't get all fucking wound up. Fucking internet people. Um, now you my first thing is we're gonna get this soil mixed up. Now, like I was speaking before, we used to just mix that shit up and on a tarp, whatever we could do, right? Just to keep from making a mess, keeping things kind of organized. All right. Now, you can do that. Don't get me wrong, but I do feel that we can do a better job if we break this shit down per pot, right? It's a little more accurate dosage. I feel, at least. So I'm gonna do everything per pot. Now, if we figure out like this mix or whatever, it's 12 pots. Well, there's your multiplier or your divider for that matter. You can figure out, all right, if we're at like 3 cups of whatever, or a pound and a half of this or that, um, you know, use a calculator if you need it. Fucking divide that shit, right? Simple. Okay. So, um, the way is like I'm looking at this mix. We need a good base layer, a drainage layer. I like them fucking grow stones. We used to use hydrocorals, um, hydroton, as the UK people would say, hydroton, as we'd say in the South, whatever. But those grow stones, I like them a lot. They're lightweight, not all filthy. They don't break down like the perlite does. So for drainage layer and our mix, or our aeration mix, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I like the grow stones, okay? Because after every time I grow, like I don't empty the soil out of my pots. Like since I've lived here in Colorado, I've been rocking the same soil in the same pots without taking it out and busting it all fucking up. Okay, I'm literally like, I will make a chop if I feel the need to throw some top dressing on it or whatever, like I was petering out a little on something, which ain't often, you know. A little bit of that on the top dress, man. I throw some fucking bokashi on that shit. I re-inoculate. I put another plant in, and I fucking roll. Over and over and over and over and over. It's very cheap. It's very fucking easy. Okay? So our aeration, we'll just keep it rule of thumb, because I don't know where the fuck you live. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. So 30%'s rule of thumb. Maybe you want a little more, maybe you want a little less. I don't fucking know. So aeration, roots like oxygen. Aeration will also kind of dictate a little bit, depending on your environment, how often you got to water. So you take all your considerations of your life, and you make your decision on that part. Now, me personally, I like to grow stones. I like about 2 inches at the bottom. Okay. Nope. I'm not in a 420. We're gonna talk about tens, right? So 10-gallon pot. Now I figure, so I'm a little over 6 feet tall. Okay, so I figure plant height on things that are gonna be anywhere between 8 and 10 weeks long. Okay, right about chest height. Sometimes maybe chin height. You know, but right around in that region. I'm gonna be good to go. So what we're gonna do? Let me make sure I get this fucker going here. The 10-gallon would suit me just fine. When I went up to 15s or 20 gallons, man, I was, oh man, like I'm growing some big ass trees, like 8 foot. Nah, like, I mean, you can do plastic pots, 8 Mile. You can if you need to. I highly advise fabric pots. Uh, the aeration aspects of that are awesome, you know. So that's definitely my jam. Now I'm looking for about 2 inches, of drainage layer at the bottom. I like that. And then over top of that is where I'm going to, start putting our mix in. Now, the way I look at my mix, we got our base, which is going to be peat moss Premix. It's already got some perlite mixed in. I really don't take it into consideration because after a while, it's going to fucking break down anyway. So it might throw off your 30% thing, but whatever, don't worry about it, because after about a grow or two, it's all going to be powderized and non-existent anyway. Okay, so now we got our compost part of our soil mix. We got, there's like the manure, cow compost. There's mushroom compost. There's a lot of things, So like, you can kind of pick and choose what you like, So I know, we got certain people in the crowd that might say like, oh man, poor cows, you're stealing their turds. Okay, well, maybe pick on the mushroom people then, Some people might have a thing against mushrooms. I don't fucking know. So you pick your poison when it comes to your compost mix. I like Alaska humic. I really like that dude's product with the manure. I think it's Bose Dynamic, right? Really good stuff. And earthworm castings, real big fan of that. So I would go as far as to say that about 30%, just the same way as we did a 30% aeration, another 30% of my mix is a compost type mix. Okay? So, um, like I say, you pick how you wanna roll with everything, and you can pick how you like it. Now, there you go, you fucker. Knew you were gonna fucking chop. Can't fuck with this knife. I can shave with this bitch. And it's got a little weight to it too, so fucking get on through that wood. Now, so once we got our compost mix in, then we're mixing other things in. Blood meal, right? So now, like the blood meal, it's gonna go pretty quick, man. Like that stuff breaks down really, really, really fast. Bone meal, on the other hand, takes a good little while to bust up. Um, like I was big on the green sand back in the day. It's like shit. The green sand ain't even gonna play a part in anything in your soil outside of aeration for like it was like a couple fucking years. You know, so that's fine. You know, but like yeah, I have it in there. Gypsum, it helps to keep your soil from compacting, but you got all these little micronutrients in there. They're good things to have, right? Langbeinite, it's really high in potassium. That's always good. There's a lot of other good little things in there. So you're gonna start tailoring your mix to suit you. Now, like I said, I'm not really big on having these crazy hot mixes, and I'm also not real keen. Bust this fucker real quick. I'm also not real keen on just loading it down with the micronutrients either. I just kind of believe it's something that I can add to if I need it between rounds. There's no need in going all crazy with it. But then again, I don't know your situation. Might be doing the thing out in the woods. Maybe. Maybe you do want to load it down. I don't know. Now, as far as all things are concerned, my main thing is I like things even. NPK, your macros, and your micros. And I like to source them from different things. And that's the other thing is like, how do I answer a question to one person? Maybe they're fucking vegan. I don't fucking know. Maybe I don't give a shit. Anything goes. I don't know that. Only you know that. So, you gotta kind of pick where you're sourcing and what you're putting in your mix. The one things I will say, bat guanos, the seabird guano, I really like that. In conjunction with the bat guano, I get a pretty good NPK with that. A little bit of blood meal, a little bit of bone meal, langbeinite, some oyster shell. It ain't a whole hell of a lot. Now you can go on and add your alfalfa and your kelp. I will say, moderation, big time. I've gotten away from it. I really don't like to do it anymore. I just feel it's something that I can add and stay in my control, And then from there, I'm real keen on my dragonfly. I really like the stuff. But, into week 4, at some point during week 5, I'm going to cut it off, and I'm just going to switch to I like Indonesian bat guano, simple as that. Nothing crazy. I'm feeding once a week. If my plants are really, really, really sucking it up and, doing their thing, I mean, they could get it twice, but, that's it, man. Earthworm castings and bat guano from week 5 till week 7. You know, so week 7, um, it's when I would start. Like we don't flush in soil, okay, but day 49. That's why I like to hit it with that really, really, really heavy dose of organic cane sugar that I'm not going to break down prior to. Um, the next watering, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm probably going to be at like 2 tablespoons a gallon. Like it's a healthy fucking dose. But that right there will sidetrack every fucking microbe in the pot away from breaking down nutrients to breaking down sugar, making them fat and lazy. They're going to reproduce, which will come in handy later when we restart our cycle, right? But they will stop breaking down all that food, which you should be able to achieve a proper fade. Now, we got, a few other things that we can, if you want to take it to that like next level, we can start getting into our enzyme cytokines and such, with coconut water. You get that shit at the grocery store. If you're not into grocery stores, or maybe you just live in a place where the grocery stores suck, or I don't fucking know. But if you're in one of these places, you can do it there, or if you're not into that, you can do like Build a Soil, and Build a Soil can sell you the powder, which is cool. Just recommend don't keep it like in a humid spot where it might develop a little bit of condensation that'll rock up on you and stuff. But you can mix it on demand. It's like really cool. Same thing, aloe water. You can get the aloe flakes from them. Same deal. Really, they're really nice people too. So, and I'm all about supporting really nice people. So, now, when we're using our coconut water, any enzyme, cytokines and such, try to avoid using them toward the end of the cycle. A lot of people be like, oh yeah, everything's foxtailing on me, and yeah, like sometimes heat can cause that shit, but a lot of times people are just going like all or fucking nothing, yield or fucking die trying with everything. Yeah, week 8, feed fucking 2,200 fucking parts per million. Awesome. Yeah, fuck it. Let's feed some fucking enzymes too. Shit all foxtails out, you know. So that's another thing. Just don't go too late with that. Aloe water, it reduces stress. So anytime you're doing something where you may be inducing a stressor, whether it's just, flipping the light cycle, transplanting, after defoliation, give it some aloe water. It'll really dig it. And also, we're playing something of a cat and mouse type thing. We're trying to trigger a response, and then we're trying to facilitate that response. So I'll also like to use aloe during the facilitation of that response. So there's products out there that are very expensive per liter or quart, whatever they sell it in, but it's just aloe water. You don't have to do that to yourself. So but these things, the aloe water, it's pretty occasional. One thing I do toward the end of my cycle, if I'm able to, is doing switching over to a blue spectrum light. We used to use metal halide back in the day. Now we got ceramic metal halide, etc., etc. Good blue spectrum. We can you know, and like, I mean, it's fucking proven. Like, we used to always say, like, yeah, the weed seemed better. You know, we couldn't take it to a fucking lab unless you got popped and it was going to an FBI crime lab. But, you know, we always knew, like, yeah, the fucking weed's better. It smells more. It fucks me up more. Like proof's in the fucking pudding, right? So, blue lights. And I used to always think, too, like, well, you know, these plants, you know, they'll fuck you up, but maybe they fuck you up more, like if they think you're a rabbit trying to eat it. So I used to defoliate a little bit more about 10 days prior to. I've switched over to a blue spectrum, trying to run it a little bit cooler, you know, all that good jazz. And I'd feed the aloe water, because if that's what helps facilitate the stress, well, you know, maybe that's helping you out a little bit. So, you know, just my little way of, you know, a little bullshit that I do. Somebody out there be like, "Well, this guy wrote about this and that." Like, okay, whatever. I don't really give a fuck. I just know what's worked for me and what I like, what I don't like, and it's just how I do things. So, if you're thinking like, "Oh yeah, this has to be like crazy, fucking, you know, complicated," no, it does not. None of this needs to be complicated at all. And in fact, it is very cheap. So now the other part is microbes, right? So microbes are playing a huge part on what's going on. Now the old train of thought was bacterial microbes, you know, dominant during veg, fungal dominant during flower, and that's what we're gonna be doing. Well, that is true. Yes, it is very true. However, um, bacterial microbes have a big thing to do with terpene production. Now, people have probably done, and that's the thing, I don't fucking know, maybe some other person's done more research or whatever, but as far as people that I fucking know, Rootwise Soil Dynamics have done a lot of research, a lot of work. That's who I roll with. You know, I like their shit. That's another big part of terpene production. So, like, if you're feeding a bacterial microbe before you're feeding, say, like these said fruit juices, and I know everybody's like, fruit juices, yeah, but how fucking much? All right, motherfucker, what you gonna want to do? You want to mix up every fucking juice that you want, you know, in your mix. I would say make it as diverse as motherfucking possible. And what you're gonna want is, once you've mixed all these up, once you've mixed all of them up, you're gonna want to go about 30 mils a gallon with your fruit juice. If you can break it down beforehand, even fucking better, you know? So just do that. Supplementing sulfur along with it. If you want to go the Epsom salt route, you want to go straight sulfur, that's up to you. Maybe you got something against fucking sulfur. You can figure something else out. Talk to a scientist. So, you know, you can do that too. Now, once you're feeding that stuff, and you know, like I said, this is like, it's not rocket scientist, you know. You're just triggering a response, you're facilitating the response, and you're just doing your thing, low and slow, nothing heavy. Now, people could talk about, you know, parts per million, shit like that. Yeah, you can measure it if you like, but typically, like with your bat guano, like a low feed's like a tablespoon a gallon for your brew and your tea. You add your microbes, you let it fucking brew up. Wham, bam. The other thing is pH. I always get that one a lot too. Yeah, technically your buffers in your soil, maybe you got some dolomite lime in there, whatever. My line of thought was, if I can control it, right? if that's something that I can do my damn self, why make it work all that extra much? Why wait for it to buffer and all that shit? Why don't I just pH to 6.4? And if you look at like your pH breakdown charts, you'll see 6.4 is where pretty much everything's being broken down pretty baller, you know? So, that's probably where I'm gonna stick it at. And normally I pH using an organic source, of course. You know, you can use lemon juice, lime juice. You know, you want to go up, use some milk. Maybe you want to do fucking baking soda. I don't know. That's truly up to you. After I pH, that's normally when I add my microbes. So that. And sorry if I seem a little distracted. I decided that I was hungry and maybe I would make some food here. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, like I said, this isn't like some college course here. We're just fucking hanging out. All right. Yeah, I got hungry and I lost my fucking train of fucking thought here, but it's okay. I will get back to it. I promise. Like if you've ever seen me at a show, man, like I go without eating to talk to everybody, but today you're on my time, motherfucker. So I'm gonna get my grub on. And if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. I hope everybody's having a good time. I'm looking at the damn, looking at the little fucking chat thingy. Well, y'all actually like stayed along for this shit. It's pretty fucking amazing. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever told y'all a story about, fucking, no, I know for a fact I haven't told y'all prison stories because they're fucking gross. But the sound of that can right there. Ugh. I know Roy, he might be tuned in. Yeah. Sorry to gross you out, buddy. The old fucking wooden, or muddy boot story. Pretty fucking gross. But, yeah. There we go. So, yeah, you know, these microbes, like when you feed a bacterial, that's really going to help out with your terpene production. Now, me personally, I am just going to go out and say it, that if you are, oh yeah, those coals are good and hot. If you're going to, you know, talk about like potency of weed, where a lot of people are like, oh yeah, man, you know, it's this much percentage THC. Like, yeah, it's fine, but like, you know, I can smoke some 32% shit, and then I could go and blaze like some 20% shit, and the 20% is fucking floors me. Well, you know, I've always thought this, like, well, terpene profile plays a huge fucking part in that. You know, stinkier weed typically always gets me more fucked up. You know, they call the entourage effect, right? So, you're doing yourself a great service to ensure, like, yeah, you want that biomass on point, but you want those glands on point too. You want those terpenes on fucking point too. You know, like you want the whole fucking shebang. And that right there is going to keep you pretty happy. Now, once once we're all said and done here, let's say like, you just did this like slow, easy, simple fucking approach, right? The other thing a lot of people ask too is like, well, when do you water? Well, that's another excellent question. And this is where a lot of people I notice fuck up, and this fucks up their biomass part. Now they're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna grow organic for the first time, yada yada yada. Okay, well that's great. Now they do it, and they're like, yeah, my yield was shit, or the quality wasn't as good. A lot of things people fuck up. They overwater. They really do. And something you really need to like take into account if you are doing your organic thing, whether you've been doing it or you're going to try to do it, is that when you transplant in, like you want that whole pot, alive, and you want to keep those microbes happy. But you got to remember that those fucking roots have only gone but so far, you know? You really got to take it at their pace. So when I water in, I water in good, but I don't water the same amount every time until the plant is actually requiring it. I'm watering in the area of about where the root zone is, and then I'm slowly starting to work my way up. Now, as I'm working my way up, eventually, yeah, I'm gonna be, going like a gallon of water, you know, half a gallon to a gallon of water in this 10-gallon pot, maybe every other day even. But if you don't understand, like, all right, the roots have only made it halfway down, but like you keep watering heavy, well, you got a big old slop mess, too much water down in the bottom of the pot. So getting familiar with the weight of the pot and just that whole concept of like, all right, the roots need to catch up, it's a big part. Another thing is like every 14 days, I don't let the pot get totally dry because I don't want to affect the microbes, but I do like to let it get fairly light where I can pick it up. It has a lighter weight to it. It's just me. And normally after that, I'm re-inoculating a little something, and I'm also giving it a feed. It's almost like a little, we call it pushing. So you can do it like that too, you know. So that's the other important part, because a lot of people I've noticed have suffered just due to just watering a little too much, you know. Yeah. So, Moisture Pro, hey, go Coast. What are you doing, Dave? You got nothing fucking better to do than watch me fucking cook chili and shit over a fucking fire and talk about dirt growing? God damn. That's sad. That's sad. But yeah, Moisture Probe's pretty good if you can afford it and get good set points and data. That's the other thing. Like I said, I was an instrumentation technician and everything else in my day. And, I understand like cool instruments, they definitely they make things a whole lot easier. They really do. And like I say, just gotta be able to afford them, and they are only as accurate as what you tell them to be accurate as. They can read all the input that, you know, they're intended and engineered to measure, but if you don't know what the fucking what that is, what's good, what's bad, what's high, what's low, what's 50%, 25%, 75%, 100%, etc., then you've just got a lot of money wrapped up in something that's telling you something that you don't fucking understand. So you need to get like some good data first when using something like that. It's like if you got yourself a pH meter, but you don't understand anything about pH, what it is, what it does, what's good, what's bad, etc. So very, 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 very important. Oh yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna be eating good tonight. Yeah. So yeah, in a nutshell, um, I don't know if like I let you down, thinking like, oh yeah, it's just like fucking super high-tech wizard tricks and shit like that. Well, it's not. There's nothing real major to it other than, you know, less is more, you know, slow is better, slow and steady. And also, like, what are you fucking growing too, knowing like what is something like. And you're not going to find that out from popping something from seed and grow it one fucking time, you know? Like, you got to learn these things, these should be like your family and friends, Like fuck man, I've done all types of shit, grown all types of different stuff, and I mean, it take me fucking many runs before I feel like I'm even close to being like, yeah, this is what's up. And yeah, I truly feel like people are we're in that age of like everybody wants everything right fucking now, and to me, that is not good. People quit being patient long ago, and we have to be patient, like like I said, there's just no way you're gonna like refine something that you've never done before in the first time. People have beginner's luck. I've heard of that, but I don't fucking know. But anyway, that hopefully you've gotten a kind of idea, right? That you know, simple is good, and it's not a bad thing. Okay, that taking your time, keeping it simple, and if you do decide to add something to the mix, you're just going to want to do one thing at a time. Okay? Now, that way, like, if you do have problems, you can troubleshoot. But, like I said, all this is very, very, very simple. That smells good. This is all very, very, very simple stuff here. Now, when we get down to after we're done, I know this isn't swole related, but it is grow related. That drying, man, drying and curing and all that good stuff. That part, that really dictates it, because like I've done everything to the number and been happier than a dog with two fucking dicks, right? And then something happens, I got too busy, or whatever the reason may be, and I went too fucking fast, dried out everything too quick. I fucked it all up, So if you don't think that you can dry too fast, or like speed up a process, or fuck everything up like that, like I'm here to tell you, you absolutely fucking can. All right, and it's a pretty big fucking deal, man. So, yeah. So it's definitely worth your time, money, what have you, to go ahead and invest in the space that you're gonna dry at, where you can control temperature and humidity and things of that nature. That's a pretty big deal. And if you can, extend that dry time out to where you're not like stalling in moisture, but like slowing it down to a good pace, to where you can get that good 14-day, dry time. And by dry time, I mean like when you're going to trim it dry. It's still not totally dry. And then like you do trim it, and then like how are you going to postpone the rest of this dry time? How are you going to slow it down? These are things that if you're inside, these are in your control, right? So, the slower the better. Then after you trim it, like, you seal it up in something. Like, don't fucking stack it all up like high, into a 5-gallon bucket, because the rest of the it's gonna dry unevenly, and you're fucking cheating yourself. So, lay it out like in a larger pan, where you're not just stacking bud on top of bud, and then take that opportunity to slow it down, and burp it out and dry it that last little bit till you got that stale marshmallow consistency. Once you're there, then you jar it up. Then you're burping it and shit every day, and put it away. Don't smoke it for a fucking couple weeks. 4 weeks would be great, but, we're all human. I do the same shit. I can start smoking it. But, it gets better with time. That's just how it is. Yeah. So, invest in that, in that, extra little bit. It will pay dividends. It really will. Let's see. All right. So, I've pretty much, bullshitted this whole time, just yakking and yakking and yakking. And I told you, I was like, all right, you fuckers got questions or whatever. I will do my best to have answers for you. So, if you shoot your questions, I will do my best to answer them. However, if we get 200 and something questions all at once, it's gonna be hard. All right. So, keep them good. And I will do my best. What am I drinking on? It is called Fat Tire, some Colorado beer. First time I ever had it, I was working down in Arizona. And, yeah, it was good shit. VB Ganny, man, it's fucking awesome. You ain't gotta really say much. And that's the thing nowadays. Like, I can tell people how great it is. They wouldn't know until they actually had it. You know what I mean? So, go-to smoke right now, just it kind of depends, man. If I'm looking just to chill during the day, it'd be one thing. Sleeping at night, could be yet another. Like that Burnout and Dominion G for night times, like doing me real fucking good. Yeah. Would you be offended if F2? No. Fuck no. Only time I get pissed when people do shit is like when they do it out of profit. And it's like, I'm not even that fucking mad. It's like, I'm just like, kind of just blown away that people are that fucking unoriginal. Like they'll replicate your menu to a fucking T and shit. There's a lot of clowns out there that do that shit. So, no, I don't care at all. I actually dig when people do stuff, not just like the F2 for their own, like, keeper stock, because, I did the same shit. But, like, when people make their own hybrids, like, I'm really stoked. I'm actually kind of like, it almost makes me blush. Like, wow, you thought that much of my work that you included it in your own project, that you were willing to put your time not only into growing it but to furthering on something. And like that's pretty cool. So like I've always been pretty big on that. I think people should definitely do it. And that's the other thing, man. Like if I rock out some shit, that ain't been seen or smelt or whatever in a couple decades, then you know people lose shit like that. That's how shit gets lost forever, you know? um, yeah, re-amending the soil. I'm a top dressing guy. Some of these people here, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you need a specific soil analysis from a scientist." And yeah, that's one way of going about it. I'm not about that life, so I just kind of eyeball what's going on, and I will add back to it as necessary. I do it in a top dressing fashion. I add bokashi and a little compost over top, get it wet, re-inoculate, and I let it roll. Yeah, yup. Ugh. Let's see, what else do we got? Nah, Dave, I left it at, fucking Lampa's booth. I'm supposed to, like, see them, in Oklahoma. I'm gonna have to ask him if he still got it. I really want to. Like, that was part of my retirement. I'm gonna start growing all the seeds everybody else made time. Um, and that was one I was like really, really looking forward to. That weed was super fucking good, man. Microbes, like mycorrhiza. Yeah, man. To me, diversity is the best. You know, so the more the better. The more you can diversify the species of microbes you got, the better you are. Grandpa Skunk, how do I fight pests like gnats? I kind of look at it like some old training I got back in the day. It was of rule one of knife fighting. Okay, and rule one of a knife fight is don't get in a fucking knife fight. So if you can avoid them, avoid them. But nowadays, man, you get some earthworm castings, man, anything. More than likely, they're gonna be fucking loaded down. So what you can do is get you some diatomaceous earth, okay, and get one of them fucking things like if you went into a kitchen and they were making like French toast or something, they got the powdered sugar and that little fucking scoop that's like a screen, and they dust it over the shit. Get you one of them, and after I would water, I would dust that shit over it, and then when they come up through it, man, they fucking get shredded, you know. You can do the sticky traps also, on top of that, and that'll definitely help. Um, BT's Bacillus thuringus. I don't know if I even said that right. You can add that to the water. Okay, so if you take all those things into account, like you will win. Okay, like you'll fuck them up. So definitely do that. Suggestions for thrips. They're probably like the easiest fucking thing. They're probably like the easiest thing to kill. People have told me that like the certain shit is like you're not supposed to use it anymore, but whenever we needed to get rid of them, it was that shit? Fuck, what was it called? It's been a while. Spinoside. That was what it's called. Spinoside. Look, this armory listed shit in a little white bottle. If you don't want to spray anything, you can just unleash the fury of ladybugs on them, and they will fuck them up. Spider mites, whole nother fucking thing. Basically, with any pest that you're going to encounter, learn about their life cycle. Learn what they like, learn what they don't like, learn what kills them, like natural predators. Learn, everything to make their life a living hell. That's how you defeat them. The cleanliness, that's gonna help you out. Most people I've known that ever got mites is because they deal with people that have mites. Okay, so if you got a buddy that's got mites and he offers you a clone, you should politely decline. Okay, the biggest thing with shit spreading around is people spreading them around. You know what I mean? Also, I like my four-legged critters and all that shit. I really do. But like, I don't want them in the grow room. Like, that's like a big no-no with me. I mean, it's cool. I know they like it and everything, but they run around through the fucking weeds and shit. And I'm not gonna risk that. Also, I don't let dirty people or anybody for that matter in my areas. Whether it was a warehouse or a grow anywhere. Like I can't, people weren't allowed. I've always been a very untrusting person. Yeah, so that's probably like your biggest thing is um, taking the time and not getting them in the first place because of, other people or your animals. One thing all pests do have in common, though, whatever it is, what was it? Is that the movie fucking Predator? It's like, oh, it bleeds, we can kill it. You know what I mean? Like, everything fucking breathes, man. So if you can suffocate shit and their reproductive cycle, that should cue you in on how often you should spray to choke the fuckers out, whether it's a neem or whatever, So you can look at it in that regard as well. Midnight down here. Well, you have yourself a good night too, buddy. Electrocute. Who to talk to is two from the seed company. He was doing experiments on on electrifying plants. I haven't personally, because I know what it feels like to get shocked. I've been shocked so many fucking times in my life. Like, honestly, I shouldn't even be fucking alive. But here I am. So, boy, it's starting to get fucking dark out here. That's the only thing. Like, you get to cooking at night with the coals. You lose a little bit of your light, and makes for some damn mighty fine cooking. But if you're getting old like me, you stop being able to see so fucking good. I got like a little headlamp and all that shit, but I don't know. I feel like making a little bit of a challenge here. Oh, that was way too much Mrs. Dash, but whatever. Fuck it. There we go. We'll spray you around. Oh, yeah. Flip you over. Oh, yeah. This is going to be good as a motherfucker right here. All I need now is some of that barbecue bee sauce on it. Hemp farmers, nah, like, like really what I see, man, and it ain't even the new guys, like, there are just as many cocksucker pieces of shit old fucking guys as there are piece of shit new school guys. It's not a new or old problem, it's just a people problem. Comes down to greed, all the normal little things, you know what I mean? The typical shit. Everybody wants that money. And that's all anybody's concerned with, so, And, unfortunately, that's just the state of the world that we live in. You know what I mean? I've known, just, I don't know. No, hemp isn't greed. People are greed. Okay? And greed comes in different fucking forms too. Okay? Like, it ain't just money and possession, it's the, hey, look at fucking me shit too. Like, oh yeah, I did something new, something special, pat me on the fucking back. No, go fuck yourself. People, like, we're not new to this. People have been growing fucking agricultural fucking crops for a long fucking time. People have been growing fucking weed for a long fucking time. Continuing on seed lines and so, we're not doing anything fucking different, So for people to, like, act like they're reinventing the fucking wheel, like fucking eat a dick. But no, like, hemp's fine. It really is. A lot of the world's problems can be, fixed up. Alright, 13 seconds. I'm gonna redo this thing. Alright, I'll kick it back off here in a second. And, we'll continue on if you're just in the